All right, so I feel motivated to share something. I see a lot of people looking at the dystopia the world has turned into as a death sentence. Like that's just the way that it is, and that's all we can ever do, is because that's what we've experienced so far, and that's what history has told us. But I really believe differently than that. I believe that there are, well, I don't know how many billion people there are on the planet, but the last number I heard was somewhere around 8 billion. And most people that I've come across in my lifetime, and I've been here over a half of a century, they're they're usually willing to obey like two basic rules that we learned in kindergarten: don't hit and don't steal, right? And so, I mean, like, not hitting, that's including don't assault people, right? So, the reason that the world is the way that it is, though, is because people are doing that because somebody else told them to. They get a job where they have a boss, and sometimes they're given a costume. They call it a uniform, but it's a costume. It's just something they dress up in, and they act like they have different rules of morality, and they're playing a different game of the golden rule, right? I mean, their golden rule includes golden eggs that are given to them every couple of weeks as a paycheck. But what we're really facing is just the belief in authority that because somebody else told me that I can beat you up or steal your money, that maybe I'm willing to do that. And if I'm willing to do that because somebody somewhere said so, that I guess some people are thinking that removes their responsibility in that, right? They're like, oh well, I'm just doing my job. But if we're just doing my job and we're hitting or assaulting or stealing from other people, then we need to quit that job, right? I mean, that just makes sense. I mean, because if I was working for a psychopath, which I've done, I quit when I realized I was working for a psychopath. And the psychopath, his name was Uncle Sam. And I was told by everybody growing up that, oh yeah, no, 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 be if you serve in the military, you are serving humanity. But I didn't really feel like I was doing that. I felt like I was serving bankers and war profiteers because after 9 years, I was able to see things that people that are only doing it for maybe 3 or 4 years may not see. And when we start to see things that we hadn't seen before and we recognize it as a reality, we have to make different choices or we're not going to be able to sleep very well at night, right? We're not going to be able to truly look ourselves in the mirror and say that I'm doing the best thing I know to be doing, right? So anyway, I really believe that we can shift what we're seeing right now as a dystopia with global war and control and exploitation of the poor. And we can turn that around and we can stop listening to politicians and we can stop listening to idols and we can stop participating in this cult year of war and greed and control over each other, right? What if we would only support voluntarily the things that we want to see in our life happen, right? And what we want to have in our life is likely to align with what other people want to have in their life. And I've recognized that there's four things that I want in my life, and I'm going to work in all of my now moments to bring those things into my experience and do what I can to help others do the same. If that's what you decide. But for me, I think it's health and happiness and peace and abundance. And all of these things are available to us when we make different choices that haven't been advertised to us. So anyway, hey, follow along, and and lead through example, because expectations are like premeditated resentment. And when we expect for the change to happen that we want to see in the world to come from someone else, we're going to be left waiting. But when we start to be that change, be the experience of life that you want to have, and it will inspire others to do the same. Thanks for watching.